Okay, I'm gonna be putting together this Nintendo DSi XL. I just got two screens that I think match pretty well. I have three screens in the frame because this one has a pretty good scratch on the top lens. You can kind of see it right there. You can see it when the screen is on. So I have this donor one that has a torn ribbon cable that has a good enough lens that I'll use. I need to verify that it is actually good. I can't really tell because I don't have a backlight to display. Currently, this will be a... I'll get the numbers here in a second. I never checked out this motherboard either. I just have it in my good working American USA board pile. Game card pins are good. Charge port looks good. Don't see anything on the motherboard that causes concern. Alright, so the motherboard number, and then the shell that I'm going to be putting it into. Oh, well, there's a Japanese shell. I need to grab an American one. It's in a little worse cosmetic shape, but perfectly serviceable for a shell. The face that you're actually looking at is in very good shape. Just a little scratched up a little. It's seen use, and as far as build quality goes for these OEM shells, I would take these scratches and scruffs over a third-party shell. I do need to verify that all the ports work. Touchscreen looks like it's new. I must have done that. Or maybe it came to me replaced, which doesn't really happen that often. What I am going to do is put Kapton tape on this top screen, ribbon cable, so I lessen my chances of tearing it. These top screen ribbon cables are incredibly delicate. And just having a extra layer of Kapton tape will make it a little more resistant. Because these pretty much these OEM screens are the only ones you're ever going to get. Tried getting third-party screens, but those can be incredibly unreliable and expensive. Unreliable in that they'll come with dead pixels, extreme yellowing, whole host of different issues that you just can't do anything against. Alright. So hopefully this screen won't turn up like this screen. Which, yeah, I can see the tear right there. That sucks. You can repair these ribbon cables, but it's very difficult and I wouldn't trust a fix to actually be lasting. Okay, got the camera and the microphone that I wanted to check. What I need to do before I get too far is set up my notes, just in case I need to write anything down about this console. Oh, interesting, okay. According to my notes that I had on this motherboard, I bent up one of the game card pins. It was just bent down. Good to know. So if I have any problems reading games, I can look there. Alright. This one was wiped. I could have plugged in one of my bumpers to bypass this, I think. Upper screen. Okay. Both cameras work. Oh god. La 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 la! There is a speck of dust underneath this touchscreen. I'll have to maybe try and get at right now before I forget. Hopefully I'm not the one who put this touchscreen on, because it's going to be on there pretty good. I didn't test the touchscreen per se, but it was responding to my touches. It looked like it just needed to be calibrated. When I was trying to switch cameras, it was a little off. Yeah, there's a speck right there in the center. If I was the one who put this on, my double-sided tape that I use for this is a little overkill. Or if somebody else had a better idea and put even stronger stuff. I get to do something I really don't like to do because I'm in a rather dusty environment, and oh yeah, I totally did not do this. There are fingerprints on this screen. That is not my style. Awesome. Okay, well, I did not see those when the screen was on. This is gonna get a lot more complicated. Now, I do want to try something. I bought these specifically for... I hope they work. fingerprints. I can't believe it. That's such a rookie move. It's not even me doing that, which makes me feel a little better. I need to get a little rubbing alcohol on the screen, just a touch. There's a spot on there that's a bit stubborn. But I'm using a Chem wipe and it seems to be working really well. It's leaving a lot of like fibers behind, but that's really nothing Scotch tape and an air puffer can't get rid of. It's just smudges. Smudges on the LCD display is the hardest thing to deal with. Hopefully that's not like a chip. Okay, it looks like it came off. Yeah, I think that did really well. Good job, Chem wipes. Those were good investment. Now it's going to be trying to get all these fibers off. Okay. Now the fun game of trying to put this back on without sandwiching another piece of dust in there. That's always the trick. Now the other problem is getting dust from underneath the digitizer. Because I don't think I can use Scotch tape on the underside of the digitizer like I could on the... or like I can on the LCD, because the digitizer has like a film on it. I'll just use the dry side of my cotton swab to sort of dislodge anything. Try not to touch the edges because there's adhesive there, like I already did. And the hairs of the cotton swab will get stuck. Okay. Hopefully there's no fingerprints on the underside of this digitizer. So far it looks really good. Okay, I don't see anything underneath that digitizer anymore, thankfully. Nice glass touchscreen. Okay, that's good. I'm gonna have to do the same for the top screen when I need to change the lens. I'm gonna wait on that because I have a way of doing it. just kind of utilizing the top screen. I do have a jig, actually. I might just use that instead. Here's my blue top shell piece that is in very bad condition that I modified with a Dremel so that I can do this. I can set a top screen in it without having to coil the ribbon through the cable. Coil the ribbon through the hinge, I should say. The speakers, on the other hand, are going to get a little annoying. I'm just going to have to rest those in their spots. But this will allow me to change this top screen lens. Make sure it's lined up with a legitimate shell. And I'll have a corner down here to actually lift it up on. Cool. I just popped it on real quickly. Just to keep from dust falling on the screen. There's like a water spot right here. Wonder what that's all about. It's a little kind of hard to see. Yeah, there it is. There's like a little circle on this left side of the screen. I thought it was like hard water or something, but there it goes. Okay, just a little bit of elbow grease did it. Whatever it was. Yeah, and I don't see anything wrong with this screen. There is dust kind of actively falling on it. So a lot of it will be, I won't know until I actually look at it when the LCD is lit. If any of, like, there's very very minor, like, hair scratches. Nothing deep enough that I would expect light to refract off of. But usually once the backlight lights up, it will reveal any dust that maybe is a little more, or maybe dust that I'm not seeing right now. I do kind of see one up in the corner. Yeah, I see one right up there. See if I can grab it real quick. The less times I have to actually expose the lens, or expose the raw LCD to the atmosphere, the better. Oh, that wasn't very counterproductive. Grab microfiber cloth so I'm not leaving all these fibers. Okay, there is a little more debris. Benefit of this lens is I can run Scotch tape across it. It's just a piece of transparent plastic. Okay, I think that is the best that I can get it. I do think Yeah, I think I got it all for now. I do see one thing underneath that lens, but I could be at this for 20 minutes and never get it all. If I don't see it when the LCD is on, I'm not going to worry about it. So now we can take it out of the jig and voila. It's all nice and aligned. I don't have to worry about it going into the final shell misaligned. This is a garbage top screen I'll keep around just in case I'm like some eureka comes out and you can actually recycle the internal parts. Not holding my breath in that regard, but it doesn't take too much space to store those. So now I can get the top screen assembly put together. I need to grab a lot more parts. So the first thing I need to do is feed the Ribbon cable through the hinge. Try this out, see if my 3DS adventures make this a lot easier. With the 3DS, there are three top screen, or there's three ribbon cables that feed the top housing. The display ribbon is just a little longer than the other two ribbons, the other two ribbons are for the backlight and the camera. Well, it's not necessarily just exclusively for the backlight, it's also for the 3D slider and the volume. But since the display ribbon was longer, I couldn't use my method I was used to, which was using a bobby pin. So what I kind of found out is if you feed the outer ribbon in through the assembly, it makes feeding the inner ribbons a lot easier. Which the outer ribbon in this case is the camera. Now the Kapton tape does make it a little more difficult to do this, but the protection it offers is well worth struggling. And since I'm not really confident I can get a real good coil on it, I will go back to just using a bobby pin just for the display. I already have the camera fed through, as you see. Because I can get a real nice tight coil on the top display ribbon. I can feed the bobby pin through while holding that sort of tight-ish coil. Just a little gentle persuasion and the display ribbon will come through. And then it's just kind of getting to where you can uncoil the display ribbon to let go of the bobby pin. There you go. Display and nice and settled. Kind of make sure that the camera and the display are wrapped around each other and the camera ribbon doesn't go inside. Right on. That does it. I do see this portion of the ribbon cables kind of bending down. There we go. Now, clean off that little lens, put in the camera, get the microphone fed through the hinge as well. Camera down, the little retention bracket. And then a top screen silver screw. As it rolls onto the ground. Nice. Where'd you go, you little bastard? There you are. Alright. Get the speaker grills going. The grill and the little, what I assume is like a little spacer. Kind of see, we'll get my poor speakers untangled. Looks like I'm doing red on bottom. The orientation of the wire doesn't really matter. I did say red on bottom, but more just me being kind of a perfectionist. More aesthetically pleasing as well. Aesthetically pleasing for the hopefully no people who ever open this. Hopefully this gets seen. Well, ideally I hope these consoles get used forever, but I know better. One will be dropped or ripped in half, and what can you do if you can't buy parts? You just throw it away or recycle it. Now there's this little piece of like copper grounding strip. I don't actually know if it does anything aside from like but I'll just reattach it to the I think it's more for the camera, maybe? I don't know. That's one of the many things I don't really understand about these consoles. I know how to put them together. That's about it. Okay, put the hinge in. I'll become very relevant in a little bit. Grab the top portion of the shell. Clean off the interior part of the camera lens. Flash diffuser. Alright, so now gotta feed. Ooh. Just gonna give this a quick inspection. I thought I already did this, but I kind of see a little bit of crud here on the hinge. Or maybe I'm just seeing things. Alright, it looks good. I did get all these shells washed. I washed them by hand, but which means I'll most likely forget a spot. I only ran over it with a toothbrush, hot soapy water. A lot of these shells really didn't need cleaning. A lot of them I don't think cleaning really helped. They were in very poor cosmetic shape. I need to use my pick. Sometimes this hinge can be a bit of a chore to get in. There it goes. Just getting that perfect angle. Right. Get the camera. Place it in its little slot. Utilize the little bit of double stick tape that's still there from factory. Make sure everything's all nice and tamped down. Alright. It opens and shuts very nicely. I don't necessarily need to put that on right now. I was just kind of checking it for debris. We'll get the routing for the microphone and the Wi-Fi antenna. And I need to get buttons selected. Grab just a little bit of Kapton tape to hold down these wires. Just in case I have to take out the motherboard for any reason, it won't yank up my routing. So let me get buttons. I did say I wasn't going to put those in right away, but I'll just do it anyway. I'll have to clean this D-pad. It looks like it got colors on it for some reason. Alright. D-pad. Y. Y. A. Start select power. Have Y A. That's another A. A. Y. B. X. I'm just gonna take my toothbrush and quickly hit them with dry brush, just for good measure. Doesn't hurt. Need to look at the screen again. There is some minor rust around the edges. Just on the outer shell, or the outer like casing of this screen. Try and see if I can get a little bit of it off. Not gonna be able to get all of it. I'm not gonna try and do like a rust treatment or anything. Just try and get a lot of the surface off. I will make a note of that rust though. Okay. A little more rubbing out. I might be able to get away with what I have left. I'm just gonna quickly wipe off the connectors for the screens. I've been kind of manhandling them. Make sure I don't have any hand oils on them. Okay, before I do the top screen, I'm gonna sink a few screws in. So I need a couple motherboard black screws. I need one more. I have one too many. whole bunch of little power board screws. Okay. I don't know, just something about that D-pad. It just felt like it was pushing up on this power board a little more than I was expecting. But I have no reason to believe, aside from like a minor hunch. I'll see how it feels once I actually hold it. It may just be that this ribbon cable is pushing up on the power board a little more than I'm used to. Last but not least, the camera. Well, I say it's not the least, but it kind of is the least. Say the camera is probably the worst part of these DSIs. Maybe for the time it was great, but by modern standards, oh my goodness, it's not good. A little bit of rubbing alcohol for these shoulder button connectors. These were one of the lower shells that I pre-assembled. It's definitely something I need to do more of. It's very nice to just have something I can just drop in without having to hunt for parts. Yeah, deep head feels fine. Wow. Welcome to the world, Bronze DSI. I believe it's 4 silver, 2 black. Okay, I got the screws in. I'm just gonna sort of check around the shell. Make sure the fitment's good. Make sure that if there's any damage on the corners of these shells, they're not pressing down on the shoulder buttons. Especially like right here, if there's like a good drop on this corner, it'll distort the plastics and push it into the shoulder button. So when you click it, the button will just kind of hold down. And you can usually kind of like pry it back and flatten it out, or even file it back if it's pretty bad. Okay. really tiny game card slot screw. Ah, what did I forget? It's usually bad juju to put the thing together before you actually verify that it works. It was a top screen flash. I have a hunch, like just a gut feeling that I forgot to put in the bottom screen backlight for some reason. Oh, it is in. Oh, it wasn't in there very far. LCD for the bottom screen looks like it's in all the way. That's better. Alright, now let's get this thing. Then I'll get a battery cover for it. Alright. So what's hard about picking out pieces for this lower shell assembly, like the SD card door and the shoulder buttons, trying to find pieces that are in about roughly the same cosmetic shape. You don't want to put on one that's immaculate on there because it will stand out like a sore thumb. There are other times where I notice there's like a very minor like color difference too. I would say that one is pretty good, all things considered. Got a little bit of damage on it, kind of matches the shell. This one also has some damage on it. I like this one. Because I've gotten in a lot of Japanese consoles that are in amazing shape, that have just, I think, just sat in storage, and problem with them being is their screens are yellowed aggressively. And it's my understanding you can't really do anything against green yellowing. Not easily, at least. I did have one person point out that you can change the diffuser inside the actual assembly, but that's a pretty invasive process and not really relevant to what I'm doing right now. So let me grab the last 4 screws for the top screen that I always tend to forget. A couple of these screws are going to have their adhesive still on it. I'm going to take the effort to take it off. And the things like the screw covers won't go on until I can verify that I don't have to take this thing apart again. Definitely the new digitizer kind of sticks out. All right, there we have it.